Welcome to another episode of this series of videos where we'd spent the first 10 days based out of Estepona, then moving on to Olvera as our base for the remainder of the 2-week holiday. In this episode we visit the iconic Ronda in Spain, a city of dramatic cliffs, ancient bridges and timeless charm. Nestled high in the mountains of Andalusia, Ronda captivates visitors with its breathtaking landscapes and deep cultural roots. In this video, we'll take you on a leisurely journey through the narrow streets, historic landmarks and hidden treasures, all seen through the eyes of two travellers who visited in November, when the weather was perfect, warm enough for t-shirts, yet wonderfully peaceful.
Well, this is it. Today is the last full day of the holiday. Tomorrow is travel day, though we've got a late flight tomorrow, so we've got a fairly full day to make the most of. I think it's about 5, 6 p.m. we've got to be at the airport, so we've got a full-on day tomorrow, but obviously we'll have packed and we'll have all the luggage in the back of the car. So, however, today is the last full day in Spain for this particular holiday, and we are in Ronda. So this is going to be a full-on day, hopefully, in Ronda. We've got lots of various attractions. So we've got a good day ahead of us, and we've got a whole variety of places that we want to go and see. So let's go and travel. We've just we've just got a Wikiloc walking tour of 3.5, 4 kilometres, I think it is. And we've just started at the Tourist Information Office. And the first place to stop is the Paseo de Blas Infante, which is one of the major viewpoints.
Just before you arrive at the gorge that Ronda is most famous for is one of Spain's oldest bull rings, the Plaza de Toros de Ronda. Founded in 1785, it's a revered site in the history of bullfighting. Located in the main square is the Tourist Information Office. The staff were really happy to answer any questions we had and were particularly helpful. They suggested we have a look on Wikiloc, Komoot or Strava for one of the many recorded walks. I highly recommend that you have one of these routes downloaded on your phone before visiting the town. Whether you're a fan of the tradition or simply curious, the Bull Ring offers insight into one of Spain's most debated cultural legacies. Ronda's most iconic site is undoubtedly the El Taco Gorge, a deep chasm cutting through the city, with the river Guadalevin far below. Spanning this dramatic divide is the legendary Puente Nuevo, or the New Bridge, built in the 18th century, though its name might seem ironic given its age. Standing on the bridge looking into the gorge below, it's impossible to fail to be impressed by the scale of human ingenuity so many years ago, supported by the incredible backdrop of the distant hills. As the day progresses, the shadows play on the craggy rock faces, changing the view on an almost hourly basis.
So even though we're in, as I say, late November, there's still just thronging crowds absolutely everywhere. We're not far from the bridge and there's just people everywhere. However, I'm one of the few that's in a t-shirt. Can't believe everybody's dressed for winter. So having stopped just for a quick coffee, we're following this anti-clockwise circular walk, and we've just arrived at Mirador de Maria Auxiliadora. Another spectacular set of views.
The walk to the region below the bridge involves a lot of steps with some spectacular views along the way. If your mobility allows, it's worth the walk and the admission fee. Despite paying, the area at the end of the walk was closed off for construction when we were there. It looks as though you'll be able to walk along the full length of the gorge once completed though. There is a chamber above the central arch that was used for a variety of purposes, including as a prison. During the 1936 to 1939 civil wars, both sides allegedly used the prison as a torture chamber for captured opponents, killing some of them by throwing them from the windows to the rocks at the bottom of the El Taco Gorge.
The one disadvantage of coming out of season is the fact that so many of these places are being closed for maintenance. Obviously they're building some sort of walk around here which would normally allow you to walk underneath the bridge, but for today this is as far as we go. Although the one walk is free to come down most of the way, there is a break off, and obviously a company has obviously bought the rights to this particular path. It's well maintained. They're doing maintenance on the one piece at the bottom, so you can't quite get underneath the bridge, the new bridge, but it's a beautiful little walk. It's €5 per person. You get helmets and you get some spectacular views for your money.
Initially built as a mosque during the Islamic period, this site dates back to the 14th century. Following the Christian conquest led by Ferdinand and Isabella, it was transformed into a church. Unfortunately, the original structure was largely destroyed by an earthquake in 1580. There are 3 bridges in Ronda: the Puente Nuevo, the new bridge, Puente Viejo, the old bridge, and the Puente Romano, the Roman bridge, also known as the Arab Bridge.
It is. I'm not sure if it's because of the elevation that we've climbed up to, but it definitely feels a little bit less green, or as the couple of weeks have gone on that we've been on this holiday, it does feel like sort of autumn's kicking in a bit more. So this, I'm thinking, is the river that is feeding through to feed the waterfall through as you go past through the new bridge. So we're still on this walk, and we're now starting to lose a load of height around the back of the town. So I can only imagine we've still got a bit of climbing to do when we come back up the other side. So from the rear bridge, you've got a huge ravine. I don't know how big a drop that must be, 100 foot or more. And as it comes through, that takes you through to right there in the distance is the new bridge. So, and that'll be the waterfall the other side of there. It looks as though where we were earlier on and we paid that €5 each to go for the walk down, it looks as though they're actually building a whole new section. I think it goes over to the right hand side. Clearly this is work that's still in progress, but you know, come back this time next year, it may well be open.
Our visit was towards the end of November, and the decorations were being installed in readiness for Christmas. I think it would have been absolutely magical to have been here to see the town in its full glory. We thoroughly enjoyed our day in Ronda and hope you've enjoyed travelling with us. Please check out the other episodes in this series, and don't forget to like and subscribe and post any suggestions you may have in the comments below.